So we are in chapter 1 of Dialogues, Acceptance of the State of Grace of the Newly Identified Child of God. And we are on paragraph 13. Open your heart. And here is Kim, so we can begin. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Kim.
Been waiting for you.
And we're going back a couple of paragraphs to 113.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep, got it.
Alison, you're first on the...
Yeah.
On the radar.
Woo. Open your heart. Open your heart. For the one who dwells there in union with all will emerge from this opening.
Oh, let's just stay there.
Mm.
Mm.
Beautiful, huh?
Mm.
Mm. Just keep opening it. Notice that you survived and that everything is still fine. And so allow yourself to open your heart even more. Just simply by stepping back and not holding it closed, right? I step back, let my heart lead the way. And don't overdo it either. Like open it to the place where it feels safe and where it feels nurturing and beautiful and healing. Your heart is waiting for you. And that's all it's doing. And just keep opening it a little bit more. Notice if you survived, if it's all good. Everything is still together. And then allow it even more. Oh, effortless. It's an effortless thing. Absolutely effortless. No trying necessary. Yeah. And then we allow it even more. Just say yes. Mm. Beautiful. Can you feel how simple it is, huh? Simple as that. Ah. What's the sound of your open heart? Yeah. Oh.
Oh. Wow, welcome home.
Beautiful, huh? Mm-hmm. Okay, Alison.
Mm.
Thank you, sweethearts. It's beautiful.
What was once a tiny pinprick of light becomes a beacon as you open your heart and allow your true identity to be what is, even within your form.
Yeah.
You are in grace and union with the source and cause of unity. Be no longer causeless. You and your source are one.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I am no longer the personal self who was separate and alone. I am my Christ self.
Beautiful.
I dwell in unity. My identity is certain.
Mm.
This is the truth. I am not less than I once was, but more. Where once I was empty, I now am full. Where once I dwelt in darkness, I now dwell in the light. Where once I had forgotten, now I remember who I am. Now I go forth to live as who I am within the world, to make cause and effect as one, and union with the source of love and all creation, the reality.
Wow, so beautiful. Would anybody else like to read that again?
Mhm.
Yeah, I would.
Good
Yeah.
idea.
I am no longer the personal self who was separate and alone.
Mhm.
I am my Christ. I dwell in unity. My identity is certain. This is the truth.
Mhm.
I am not less than I once was, but more. Where once I was empty, I now am full. Where once I dwelt in darkness, I now dwell in the light. Where once I had forgotten, now I remember who I am. Now I go forth to live as who I am within the world, to make cause and effect as one, and union with the source of love and all creation, the reality.
Beautiful. Mm.
It's powerful reading it.
Mhm. Very powerful, and particularly with that previous statement where it says, open your heart. Because as soon as you do, all of this becomes more real, like it's more tangible. Like we can read about this until forever, but we got to give it a go. Mm. Beautiful. Mm. Who's next, Gav?
Oh, that'd be me.
All right, give it to us.
We're continuing or we're going back to the same thing again?
Oh, if you would like to read that whole thing again, go for it.
Yeah.
You could even start on 13. Maybe we could
Yeah.
all have a go at it.
Yeah. Okay. Open your heart,
Mm.
for the one who dwells there in union with all will emerge from this opening.
Mhm.
What was once a tiny pinprick of light becomes a beacon as you open your heart and allow your true identity to be what it is, even within your form. You are in grace and union with the source and cause of unity. Be no longer causeless. You and your source are one.
Mm.
I am no longer the personal self who was separate and alone. I am my Christ self. I dwell in unity My identity is certain.
Mm.
This is the truth. I am not less than I once was, but more. Where once I was empty, I now am full. Where once I dwelt in darkness, I now dwell in the light. Where once I had forgotten, now I remember who I am. Now I go forth to live as who I am within the world, to make cause and effect as one, and union with the source of love and all creation, the reality.
Mm. Mm. We've got to remember we're opening our heart for who? For ourselves in the first place. Because that is the source. You and your source are one. Is the heart is the source. Still connected to God forever and ever. Provides us with nourishment. Daily bread. Open heart is the daily bread. It's cute, no? Guys look so serious. Mm. Beautiful, huh? Go on, Kev.
These dialogues are for everyone because we exist in unity with everyone. No one will be forced to join our conversation.
Mm.
Only those listening will be ready to hear. You listening?
Yeah.
Only those ready to hear will listen. Remember that you cannot be taught what unity would freely give. The goal is no longer learning. The goal is accepting the identity that has always been yours and that has newly been revealed and return to your remembrance. To know and not accept what you know to be the truth is a continuation of the pattern of insanity that must be replaced with a pattern of sanity. Insanity is acting as if the truth is not the truth. Sanity is accepting the truth as your reality and acting from that truth. Once the truth has been learned, the nature of untruth remains only as an acceptance of insanity. What will I help you now to do is to reject this insanity and to accept the perfect sanity of the truth.
Mm.
Chantal?
This cannot be done through learning. For as you have been told, learning was the means the separated selves return to unity. These lessons have been given. They can be reviewed and reviewed again.
Hmm.
They can be used as continuing lessons until you feel that learning is fully accomplished. They can serve as reminders as you continue to become the self you have learned that you are. But further learning is not what will complete the transformation of the personal self to the elevated self. Learning will not sustain Christ consciousness.
Mm.
So, what is it that we will now do? If I do not teach and you do not learn, what is our continuing means for completing this transformation? As you have been shown, this will not occur by means of preparation, but by means of acceptance.
Wow.
This will not occur by means of trying, but by means of surrender.
Mhm.
As you begin this dialogue, questions naturally arise. You might think that for the receiver or transcriber of this dialogue may, in truth, feel like a dialogue, an exchange, a conversation, and wonder how you, as a reader of these words, can feel that same way. You can feel that same way by realizing that you are, as you read these words, as much a receiver of this dialogue as she who first hears these words and transfers them to paper.
Mm.
Kath, you're next.
Is a piece of music not received by you even when you may be one of thousands of or millions who hear it? Does it matter who is first to hear the music? This is, in truth, the dialogue between me and you. Wish not that the way of the transcriber of these words were the way for everyone, and think not that to hear directly from the source is different than what you do here. This is thinking with the mindset of separation rather than the mindset of unity. What I say to you here, I say to you. It matters not that I say these same words to many, for you and the many who join you in receiving these words are one.
Mm. Mm.
These dialogues begin with prayer to remind you of what you have learned in unity, a learning that has been different from all learning you but thought you accomplished as a separate self. You have achieved an incredible feat by allowing and accepting the state of unity, even though you could not learn how to do so.
Mm.
This has been the difficulty with every curriculum that has sought to teach the truth. In order for the truth to be truly learned, you first had to enter a state in which this learning could occur, a state that could not be taught, but only accessed through your longing and desire.
Mm.
Wow. Wow.
Mm.
Arr, beautiful, huh?
Mm.
Excuse me.
Mm.
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 I really feel I've suppressed that longing and desire so much.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll let it out of its box now. Ah,
Mm. Just allow yourself to feel that longing and that desire for truth.
mm,
You know,
mm,
this is not wanting something. This is a pure desire.
Mm.
Very different. Mm.
I used to think of this opening your heart as kind of like you open a jewelry box, you know, you kind of like crack it open, but it's like maybe it's like an egg. You crack the whole thing open.
Yeah. Mm. Mm. It's actually really simple. Mm. It's just like allowing ourselves to love wholeheartedly.
mm,
We think it has to be somebody or something,
mm,
but just to love for no good reason except that you open your heart and you let that love out. It's sitting in there waiting for this giving, and by giving it, then you have it. It's the giving and receiving as one. At the end, there is nothing else. You either give it or you choke on it.
As
Yes,
long as there's
please.
a hinge, you can snap it shut again.
Yeah.
I guess it's a bit scary opening your heart. You're vulnerable, and there's
Yes.
you feel like it could get smashed because we're not used to doing that. It's an unfamiliar territory.
Yes. And so we begin gently.
Mhm.
That's what these lessons and even the Course of Miracle does. Just gives you this like, hey, just for a moment, experience light. Okay, that was enough. Go in your daily thing. So you get used to it.
Mm.
And then the more you do it, more you see that you survive the opening. I was like, oh, like, you know, just allow yourself to love a little bit and then close it off again and go, did I make it? Am I still alive? Am I hurting? You know, it's just so simple. Yeah, just like
It's all
that.
caught up very much with the idea that we are accomplished already. That is what we're finding when we open our hearts.
Yes, that it's
I
all
mean,
there.
I just keep coming back to that quote that Joel Goldsmith uses: "Open out a way for the imprisoned splendor to escape."
Beautiful.
It's just like it's already there.
Yes, absolutely is. So you allow yourself to allow, and then you go, okay, are you still alive? Are you still okay? Have you survived it? And then just give yourself another opening and see if we can open a bit more, even so it's, there's no size to it.
It's I find it frightening, partly, Cole, because so much emotion comes up, and it's not necessarily what I'd call joy.
Yes.
Or
And then that's coming for forgiveness. So allow that to come, allow it to come and say, sweetheart, I see you now. I am holding you. This is beautiful, sweetheart. This is what will happen. And that's why we're so afraid, because with opening comes everything that was forever closed.
yeah, I mean, I was in the bathroom and suddenly I started crying. You know, I told you about this stuff with my mum, and
Yeah.
I just suddenly had tears. I was just sad, and I slept 8 hours that night.
Yeah.
I don't sleep normally. It just came through, it burst through. So I sort of have always thought, open it away, like open your heart, and all this light and loveliness will shine through. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to look like
Yes.
what I think of as joy and, all the good stuff.
Mhm. That's where this pass through, you know how the Course of Love talks about the pass through? So when emotion calm, let it pass through.
Yeah.
Pass through. Because we go like, oh no, I don't want this emotion. And now you're back in the lockdown.
Yeah.
Unlock it, let fall apart, cry, wail, scream, shout, or be silent. Either, like, whatever it is. Just allow whatever is. It's a judgment that says like, oh my God, if I open this up, it will just keep constantly be this.
So
That's the
it's a
false
funny,
belief.
it was just the moment I talked about it was just an unguarded moment where I was not thinking about anything, and suddenly it was there, and it
Yeah.
didn't last very long, but something happened and
Mhm.
released. And
Beautiful.
yeah, I want more of that.
Just keep opening your heart, and then
Yeah.
because you're not opening to. It's not like the special relationship love. It's just love for sake of loving.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like the loves, of course, says that like doesn't matter where the love comes from as far as it comes. So we're just loving for no good reason except that we do. And then see if we can find a sweet spot where it's not too much, but it's also not too little. Yeah. Like what's the amount of loving that feels beautiful, feels natural, feels not forced. Just so we get used to it. Because being closed up for so long creates those barriers to love's presence, right? We're just letting them go and go, okay, let me just love no matter what. And it's okay to close it off again. Okay, that was enough for today.
I like that he calls insanity what it is.
Yeah.
I need some straight talk.
Who's next there, Kev?
You are, Cole.
Okay. This is akin to thinking of a God who exists
Where are you, Con? Might have
Are we there?
I think maybe we're at 22.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. You who have joined mind and heart in unity have returned to a natural state of knowing in which learning is no longer needed. Boink. You have now come to a point of curriculum that is impossible to learn. No teacher is available, for none is needed.
Mm.
And yet many of you still feel that you would what you would describe as a need for continual learning and a continuing relationship with a teacher who will guide you through the application of what you have learned. You dare not as yet to turn to your own heart, right? And trust the knowing that has been returned to you as you begin to live in the reality of the truth.
Mm.
This is akin to thinking of a God who exists outside or part of yourself, or a part of yourself.
From
If you fully accept your true identity, you would no longer look outside of yourself for guidance, but you would realize that yourself is all there is.
Mm.
You are one body, one Christ. We are one self.
Mm.
Yourself is not the person you have been since birth. Your body does not contain you. What you are going to find happening as you accept your true identity is a transference of purpose concerning your body. What once you saw as yourself, you now must come to see only as a representation of yourself. Wow, that's amazing, eh? You are everything and everyone. All that you see is you. You stand not separate and apart from anything. We are one body. This is when you begin to see the face of Christ in all your brothers, then you realize you are one with them. That's how you remember wholeness. Mm-hmm. Wow. Next.
Ruben, do you want to finish off the chapter?
Yes, we are one body. Learning accepts that there are those separate from you who know things that you know not. This is not the case. When you fully accept this, you will see that it is true. Like the acceptance of unity that could not be thought, but was the condition for learning. Acceptance of your true identity cannot be thought, but is the condition necessary for being who you are, and the realization that learning is no longer necessary. Thus, we work now toward acceptance of what you have learned in unity. We work towards your acceptance of sanity and your rejection of insanity. We work together in love and unity for what can only be received in the love and unity in which we truly exist together as one body, one Christ, one self.
Beautiful. Shall we dive straight in?
Yep, Anthony, do you know where we are? Were you interested in where we are? Do you want to know where we are?
Yes, please. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I'm late.
Hi, Anthony.
I was out to lunch.
We're up to chapter 2, Acceptance and Denial. It's in book 3. If that helps. If you're getting more help you need, ask someone else.
I got it, Kevin.
Oh, beauty. Oh, Kim, it's your read.
Okay. Acceptance and denial. You are now asked to do two things simultaneously: to accept the new and to deny the old. Acceptance is a willingness to receive. Obviously, when you consider this definition of acceptance, you will see that this is not the way of the old. Willingness to receive is quite contrary to the attitudes and actions with which you have led your life thus far. You were told within A Course of Love that willingness was all that was necessary for you to be able to take this course into your heart and let it return you to your true identity. Those of you who found within this willingness an ability to receive and left behind your effort to learn this course began the work that is being continued here. The work of replacing the old patterns of learning with the new pattern of acceptance. To deny is to refuse to accept as true or right that which you know is not true or right. This is the denial of insanity in favour of the acceptance of sanity, the denial of the false for the acceptance of the true. Although you are called to these two actions simultaneously, the action of acceptance and the action of denial, it can thus be seen that they are, in truth, one and the same action, just as means and end, cause and effect are one. You are asked to accept or receive the truth of who you are and the revelations that will show you how to live as who you are within the world. And you are asked to refuse to accept who you are not and the ways of life that allowed you to live within the world as a false self. We seem to have it round the wrong way, don't we? Or we have previously. It's like we were denying the true self and accepting the false one. Yeah.
Good at it too.
Cool. I feel like I'm so slowly being turned the right way up. You know? Ah.
Are you reading, Anthony?
Yes.
Okay.
The patterns of the new will begin to arise naturally when you deny the patterns of the old. As you have been told, you now know what to do, know what you do, and are no longer a victim of the circumstance of the split mind that allowed the confusion that led me to once say, they know not what they do. You must understand that you do know, and you will know as soon as the patterns of old have been denied. Denial is the correct word here, for I do not want you combating or resisting the old patterns. Patterns are not in quite the same category as the false remembering you were able to purge through unlearning. Patterns are both learned systems and systems of design. The pattern of learning was a pattern of divine design, created in unity and cooperation to enable the return to unity. This pattern has achieved its desired end and is no longer needed or appropriate. While it was once a pattern whose design was perfect for the desired end, continuation of this pattern will but interfere with your full acceptance of who you are in truth.
I think Andy normally just listens, so Alison, it's back to you.
An example of a pattern whose design was perfect for the desired end is that of formal education. Education has a natural end point. When the education of a doctor, teacher, scientist, priest, or engineer is completed, it is time for the student to claim a new identity, that of doctor, teacher, scientist, priest, or engineer, and to begin to live that new identity. To continue to feel a need to learn rather than realizing that the time of learning has come to an end would be to not realize completion. In the example used here, an example that illustrates only one aspect of the learner's life, an inability to claim the new identity could at times be acceptable and even appropriate. In regard to the learning that you have now completed, learning that has revealed the true nature of who you are, Your inability to realize your completion and claim your new identity cannot be seen as acceptable or appropriate. Oh, told off.
Mhm.
This is not a judgment, but simply the truth. Thank you.
Mm.
To learn the truth and not accept it is different from learning what is necessary for a career. To learn the truth and not accept the truth is insane. To learn the truth and not accept the completion of your learning is insane.
Mm.
If you do not realize that you have learned all that you need to learn, if you do not realize that you have learned all that you need to learn, you will retain the consciousness of the separated self rather than sustaining Christ consciousness. Wow. Thank you.
Thanks, Alison.
Mm.
It is because the patterns of old get it out in a minute. It is because the patterns of old have at times provided you with a false certainty that they are difficult to deny. When we speak of denying here, we speak of denying yourself the use of the old so that the new can serve you. We speak of denying modes of learning in favour of simple acceptance of what is. It is proper now to deny the modes of learning, even when they seemed to work for you in the past. That they seem to work is the illusion that will give way as you deny yourself access to the old so that the new can come. If you will examine this pattern of what you have believed works for you, you will find that you believe that each and every pattern will work in one instance and not in another, and that you make this judgment based upon the outcome. In other words, you make this judgment after the fact, when the outcome has occurred. For example, study habits that allow the learner to achieve a successful grade or outcome in one instance would tend to be seen as a successful pattern and would be repeated until such a time as the pattern failed to achieve a successful grade or outcome in another instance. Thus, what you have believed works for you is really like a game of chance.
Mm.
You give it a try, and if the outcome is as you desired it to be, you call it a success. And if the outcome is not as you desired it to be, you call it a failure. You admit that what you thought would work did not work. This will not often prevent you from trying the same thing again, although at times it will. I have to read that again. This will not often prevent you from trying the same thing again, although at times it will. No matter what you try, however, it is based on this concept of trial and error. No sure results are counted on. When a pattern of thought or behaviour has been found to work in more cases than not, it is clung to as a sure thing, a proven pattern or way.
Mm.
Chantal?
What is seen as not working for you are often those matters that are beyond your personal control. And so patterns, personal control, have become particularly entrenched.
Mm.
Thus have you learned ideas such as, when all else fails, plain old hard work will see you through. Or that safety is the absence of risk-taking. Or that information is power.
Mm.
Many of you have believed that the more details of life you have within your control, the more likely you are to control outcome. Others of you have believed that the more details of your life that are kept under the control of a benevolent system, such as that of government, the more likely you are to experience desired outcomes. Either way, control is seen as a powerful pattern.
Mm. Oh.
Oh.
That's a big pattern. Shite.
Although they may not have seemed so, all patterns have had to do with learning because you were, as a separated self, a being whose only function was learning. The function of all learning was to return you to your true identity. Because we are working now for the integration of your true identity into the self of form, or the elevation of the personal self. New patterns are needed. Systems are the result of your attempts to externalize patterns. Patterns are contained within. Looking at the patterns you have attempted to externalize can help you to understand the nature of patterns.
Right. So when you hear people say, oh, we come here to learn, it's a lot of baloney. Actually, it's not true. Because, you know, there's some who say, oh, we just come here to have experiences, and others say, oh, no, it's an earth school, you know. I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah.
Aren't we all leading each other home?
We already are home.
Yeah, but we don't feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this thing about learning, it's huge. You know, it's a scam.
It's a scam.
Yes. It's a big scam. Because if we already know, isn't it? It's a scam. Damn it.
But we've
But it just came out of that separation thing. You know, you placed yourself from your heart into your head. Now you think you need to learn something because you're missing something.
Mm.
You think if I learn it, then I'll have it. But that's the trap.
Yes. Oh my God, it's such a trap.
Mhm. All right, let's go on.
Yeah, Kath.
Oh, okay. 215 is it? 218?
17.
17.
Sorry. The justice system is a good example. An example of a system which you believe works most of the time and are happy to use to acquire a desired end, but which, when it does not provide the solutions you might have desired, becomes a system you would rail against. You might consider that no system is foolproof and still be willing to accept the bad with the good, but you would freely admit that your belief in any system working for you is not total. Any system that is not foolproof is based on a faulty design, a faulty pattern. Your misperceptions of the world have allowed for the development of no foolproof systems because these systems are based upon misperceptions or illusion. Your desire to cling to systems that are not foolproof is insane, for their creation is based on the workings of a split mind, and a split mind does not think clearly.
Wow. More scams. Oh my God. Oh,
Oh,
perhaps all these, all these scammers online are trying to tell us something. Oh,
yeah, Annie, we had a daylight saving change in Australia, so I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but we started an hour ago.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, and we're up to, can someone tell Annie what we're up to?
2.19.
In the third book.
Chapter 2.
Chapter 2, which is called, does anybody know?
Acceptance and denial.
Acceptance and denial.
Ford 28.
Okay, Cole, you're next.
Oh,
All systems have been based upon your desire to understand the world around you rather than the world within you.
oh.
That's the trap, you see?
Mm.
Mm.
Because the world around us is a scam.
Mm.
Ah,
That's what the scam is.
yes. It got us so good. It got us good.
Thank you both.
But we don't want to admit because it's too embarrassing.
Too embarrassing to admit, isn't it?
Yes. Oh,
Nice, Kim.
Thank you.
oh.
I'll say that again. All systems have been based upon your desire to understand the world around you rather than the world within you. If you were to understand the world within, you would need no systems to understand or manage the world without.
Mm.
These systems were attempts to learn the nature of who you are through external means. The means of learning the nature of the world around you. Thus, in the example of the justice system, you looked at the world and people around you and found the nature of both to be hostile.
Mm.
But we keep that heart closed, hey? From this faulty conclusion, you developed a faulty system based on faulty judgment. Wow. This system was meant to help you learn to deal fairly with a hostile environment and then to develop a pattern based on what was learned so that learning would not need to be endlessly repeated.
Oh.
Now, these systems and patterns have become entrenched so that no new learning is seen as possible or desirable, even though the systems and patterns are learning patterns are known not to work. In truth, no new learning or new system based on learning patterns of old will work. Thus, we begin anew.
Ah. That's why everything keeps getting repeated over and over because we're stuck in the old pattern is stuck. We're
That's
stuck.
it. Yeah.
So stupid.
Mm.
We're so stuck that even though we know it doesn't work, we keep doing it. That's nuts. So nuts.
Right, and he's asking where are we in the book? Does someone have a page number for it? Kathy called that one before.
428, page number.
Which is probably round about where we are, depending on what book you've got.
If you've got the same kind of book, have you found it, Annie?
I can't hear you, honey. Annie.
Oh, yeah. You've got mute on.
Just in case you're talking to us.
Okay, you're in the Covenant of the New, chapter
No.
3?
No, we're in number 2.
The one before.
If you turn the
Okay.
page one back,
Okay.
Oh, it's 416 in the old book.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay, thank you.
and we're up
Thanks.
to 2.20.
20.
20, we are 20.
Sure.
This
Okay.
difficulty with this new stems from your desire to learn anew. All right. Anybody here wants to learn anew?
Me.
Yes.
No.
Sam?
All the time.
You have to say yes, otherwise.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
You would say the justice system does not work, let's fix it. You would say, if the old way doesn't work, teach me anew. You would say, I will work hard and learn and to implement the new if you will just tell me what that new way is. You would say, teach me the new pattern and I will put it in the effect. What this points out is a pattern in itself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ah. Another scam.
Yeah. It is a pattern of a reaction rather than cause. This is a pattern of looking without and wondering what to do about what you see, rather than a pattern of changing what you see by looking within.
Oh,
Ah,
Mm.
Does this not describe the world we're living in now?
yeah.
I mean, he sums it up really in paragraph 19.
Mhm.
Really, all
Mm.
systems have been based upon your desire to understand the world around you rather than the world within you. Well, duh.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Mm.
And it's been such a good distraction from what's true.
Yeah.
Oh, please, I want this to stay with me. I want to remember this bit. I want to learn it.
Yes. Done well in that pattern.
Oh,
Oh my God, we just need to apply it,
Yes.
and you will see the difference. I apply it for many years, all my life. When I used to go and see the doctors, doctor asked me about my parents and grandparents' history and all that kind of stuff. And they always tell me that I am going to get all that stuff too, like Parkinson's, all the illness my parents used to have. And I told myself, these people, I need to do something. So in the following doctor appointment, when they asked me about my grandparents, I put everything is good. They were so happy. They died just naturally. What about your parents? Same thing too. They died natural. They were so happy. And why are you here? They asked me, why are you here? Just to know what's going on with my body. I'm not sick at all. I am whole and perfect. And this doctor was an old one. So he know all my history. And he said, Ruben, you're lying. No. You know you can go to jail because you're lying. All right. I say I need to do something because this stuff is not working with this doctor. So what I did is I dumped the doctor and I went to get a new doctor and I start with the new doctor. I didn't mention the past at all. I didn't mention my past doctor at all. And I just keep bringing always the new. Why are you here? Yes, I need to know what's going on with my body. Are you sick? No, I am whole at all times. That way I force them to go directly to my cells, to my blood, and let the cells and blood talk. Because I need to embrace the truth of what I am. I need to. So if I don't do it, they're not going to do it because they lose the business. You're not sick.
Yeah. But this pattern that they follow of, oh, you know, if it's in your hereditary, it clearly doesn't work, but they keep up with it. They persist
well,
with it.
it's really a reflection of our idea that the past tells us who we are,
Yes.
which is a load of bollocks.
Yes.
Actually, we have to, I have to remember that. It's really just a continuation of a pattern that's a group, like everyone here, most here believe.
Yeah, so what Ruben's done is denied the old pattern and, making a new one. Hallelujah. Yeah. But then
When you look at the whole idea of desire, you're asking what would truly make me happy? Which now you're waiting for the new to come. You don't want something old. Like, what's the new?
Well, it's not known, is it?
Well, then you like, but you're not going to use any past learning. You're just waiting for the new to come.
Right.
I just let the new lead the way because I don't know how to do it.
Yes.
I don't have a past reference.
How to do it. So we're discovering something brand new that's based on an idea of unity and wholeness
Yes.
rather than on separation.
And
Right.
it cannot be controlled.
Cannot be
Cannot.
We just what's new? I mean, that the question always like, hey, what's new?
Oh, yeah.
There we go. What's the new?
Oh,
It's like, what would it be like if my heart was open all the time?
no idea.
Yeah. So now that's beautiful. So now let's find out.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh, who knows what the hell's going to happen? Oh, but that's what's
amazing.
exciting, really. You know, like
exciting.
all the excitement of being alive has been totally like drained away because it's all this old shit. You know, there's nothing exciting about that. Oh,
That's an old pattern.
yeah. Yes. Yeah. Oh,
That's that same thing. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts.
yes.
And therefore I see nothing as it is now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's excited. It's excited to be
Mhm.
always new. Wow. It is.
I just love the analogy of the patterns. It's really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going from I to we in my life. With a bit of struggle. There's a bit of struggle, but it's so that's what I want.
Right.
So different. New pattern.
Yes. So within is where the real world and all your brothers and sisters exist in the unity of Christ consciousness. Ta-da. Who would like to read the 22? Who's next?
Me, Ruben.
Ruben. The new Ruben.
Hmm.
The Ruben, the new. What's your name? Ruben? The new
Newben.
Ruben.
I don't have no name. Ruben is from the past. Within is where the real world and all your brothers and sisters exist in the unity of Christ consciousness. Change within affects change without, not the other way around. Within is where you look to your own heart rather than to any other authority for advice or guidance. Within is where you find the knowing of Christ consciousness, the consciousness of unity. Within is where you find the power of creation, the power to create the patterns of the new. Looking within is not an attempt to find the answers of the personal self of old, the separate self who depended unlearned wisdom or answers. Looking within is turning to the real self and the consciousness shared by all for the creation of a new answer. The answer to the only remaining question, that of how to sustain Christ consciousness in form.
Mm.
This is the agreement God asks of you. You're part of the shared agreement that will fulfill the promises of your inheritance. This is the covenant of the new in which you honor your agreement to bring heaven to earth and to usher in the reign of Christ. To usher in is to show the way, to cast your palms upon the path of your brothers and sisters. Do you not see that your acceptance of this promise is the acceptance of your own promise? Do you not see the acceptance of the new and denial of the old is the necessary forerunner of our work together in establishing the covenant of the new? Yes.
Mm. Mm.
Hmm.
Ah,
Just to let you know, we're not alone in establishing the new. We have the truth in our side. Actually, we have everything in our side.
I just
It
looked
is
up.
the,
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead. No, go
I
ahead,
just
Kim.
looked up the meaning of neo, which is new, literally meaning new. Neo is also referred to as the one, which is an anagram for Neo.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I
so
forgot.
they used that. They used that in the Matrix, didn't they?
Yeah, it did.
Because he was the one.
It was Neo.
Neo was the
Oh,
one.
that's right. Yeah. Okay. The gospel according to Neo. Oh, yeah, I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Oh, that gospel, Neo.
Oh. Look at this. More.
mm.
Goes on about Neo. Neo's apartment number is 101, suggesting that he's the one. Neo is shot in apartment number 303. And after 72 seconds, oh my God, equals 72 hours equals 3 days, he rises again. Okay.
All right, darlings, I've got to go also.
Oh, okay. So we're all Neos. We're all the one.
Yes.
Thanks, Cole, very much.
Yeah, thanks, Cole.
Thanks, Cole.
Annie,
Thanks, everyone.
Annie, I know you came a bit late. If you wanted to stay and do a bit of reading for a bit longer with me, I'd be happy to. If we could go back.
Sure, if you want.
I mean, if you'd like to, otherwise I'm happy to go now.
Yeah, let's do a little bit. Sure.
Okay.
All
Sure.
right, let you too. I'm just going to turn the recording off.
Yep.
Oh,